Hey everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and I am back this week with another entry in my Letterboxd Criterion Challenge for 2024. This week's prompt is prompt number 9, which is Criterion staff picks, and I picked Riki-Oh, the story of Riki. This is the 1991 Hong Kong martial arts splatterfest movie from director Lam Nai Choi, co-written by Choi, and mangaka Tetsuya Saruwatari. It was the mangaka artist of the manga that this is based on, Riki-Oh, and it is the story in the title, as the title says, it is the story of Riki, the superhumanly strong martial artist who gets sent to prison after killing this gangster who killed his girlfriend. It's sent to this like early 2000s. It's set in like the far off future of 2001. In this like post-apocalyptic privatized maximum security prison where he has to fight his way through these like uber gory, just face-melting battles and hopefully inspire his fellow prisoners to rise with him. Now there is hyper-violence, there is camp violence, and then there is whatever Riki-Oh is doing at any given moment. This is, without question, one of the goriest, most entertainingly crazy movies you will ever see in your life. Your life will be defined by two phases. Before watching Riki-Oh and after watching Riki-Oh. It will be a part of your bloodstream. And this seems to be based on a manga that came out around the same time and is sort of in the same mold, similar to mangas like Fist of the North Star or early JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where it's just hyper-masculine men committing hyper-violent acts of just turning the human body into bloody bits with flurries of punches. And there's like a bunch of crime and yakuza ties, and the plot of this movie can really just be described as Riki punch guy explodes, this sort of got its a bit of its cult status sort of buoyed around by having these shot around like the early days of YouTube with like these 360p clips of the terrible English dub, the really funny dub, and all these clips of dudes just getting pummeled into absolute viscera. Right? It's definitely a movie that you have to like sit people down and be like, this is the craziest thing you've ever seen, man. You gotta see it. It's just, and because of like its reputation and the kind of movie it is, I was always curious of like what the story would have been, and the story really doesn't matter. It's like the drama context for the violence is it switches on a dime. It's all very juvenile, like purely made for like the teenage boy brained comic book junkies. But the movie is very much aware of this. It's very campy and it leans hardcore into that, and because of the reputation it had for being like a bad dubbed like a splatter movie, it became like sort of an entry point into like both splattermania movies, like say like Peter Jackson's Dead Alive or something. But it also became like an entry point into these like Hong Kong kung fu action movies, like, you know, outside of like a Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee flick. But but with this movie, it being the movie that it is, you don't get a lot of the like dance-like choreography or even really the like typical action movie tension and pageantries, because the hero is he's just a one-punch man. He just can just like punch a guy into like complete mincemeat with like 3 hits. So because Riki is he's the biggest, he's the toughest, the strongest, the coolest, most awesomest dude. So to get around that, they just like crank up the rest of the movie to be just as over the top as he is. Like the villains, and like the villains here are just evil for the fun of it, pure bad, and Riki is just pure good, completely morally righteous, and like Ricky himself, he's like blessed with this like immense strength, but he's also kind of cursed with it too, because he's the only because he's like the strongest guy in the prison, but he's the only man in the prison who does not want to abuse his power in any way. He wants to like just help others. But the way that the prison environment and the villains in the prison, it forces him to only use his strength as vengeful punishment for those he cares about. Like early on, there's a prisoner that he was trying to save, and that died, and he can only like yell out like no, and like angrily punch the rain, and he's like screaming out into the heavens. He's so mad. It's very operatic in a way, and he's just it keeps happening. He doesn't want to punch out a guy's spine, but they force it out of him. But it has to happen. There are bad guys, and they need their heads punched off to save everybody. And man, you get some really fun cartoon, just flat out cartoon villain. I feel like a Captain Planet villain is not as subtle, is like more subtle than these villains. Like you have like the assistant warden, who gets introduced. He has this like. He's like introduces this gluttonous pig. He has this huge food spread that no one man can finish, and he's like cutting into like the rawest, bloodiest steak you've ever seen. He has like this like a fancy like blood red carpet. The bookshelves that surrounding him are like filled with this VHS porn collection, and he has like this like bright yellow glass eye, and like this clawed hook hand, and that he uses to like stab and like not just stab like Riggy, but he also like drags prisoners around by like the roof of their mouth. It's real. This guy's like, one look at him, you just know he's gotta go, and like but. But then there's also these heads of like the sections of the prison that are like in a gang called the Gang of Four, and they're all of them just believe in the power of might makes right. They all have great strength, but they all use it to bully and abuse the other inmates except Ricky. And there is a lot of humor in how they're characterized. And the ways that these characters, they're kind of like video game bosses, where like there's mostly just kind of defined by like how they're shaped or even how they dress, or like their special like fighting move. You have like one guy who's like named Tarzan, who's like, I promise I'm gonna drop a link to this in the description, but he's like just the big just like the big brawler of the group of the gang. He like bursts through doors like bursts through walls like the Kool-Aid Man, and he like kills a man by open palm clapping his hands on the dude's head and making it and just destroying it like it's an exploding watermelon, and just chunks blood, brain. This is a movie that like will absolutely fill your plate with gore and then some. Like, wow. and like in the various setups of like how these fights play out and all this gore that happens is just so much fun to watch. Like Ricky has to fight like one of the leaders. I think his name was like Hai. Names kind of don't really matter, because like again, these are just like they're just excuses to like get to these like fantastic images and these like really funny kind of cheap looking practical gore effects, but they're all very it's just so much fun. it's a fun movie, guys. And he has to fight this gang leader. He has like these sick looking back tattoos, and the guy he's fighting, he commits seppuku, and like Ricky's like, no, you don't do this to yourself, but he uses seppuku as a fake out to like pull out his intestines and try to strangle Ricky with it. And even Ricky even Riki is like impressed by just how hardcore a move that but oh, he's gotta finish it. He's pulled it out of him, and the whole fight culminates in a literal Mortal Kombat style, like X-ray freeze frame of Riki's fist just shattering this dude's skull to pieces. And that's the rhythm of the movie. You know, Riki will witness or be put upon by some violent inhumanity by either the prison, the assistant prison warden, or the gang leaders, and just all the other prisoners will be like just demolished, and he will be forced to deliver back the same level of brutality and just spectacularly destroy these guys. And then the prisoners get stoked, and then the bad guys go, "No, you cannot be stoked," and the cycle just continues. It is probably the wettest and chunkiest, goriest bit of prison abolitionism you will ever see in a movie. And oh my god! And then it just gets even more cartoony when the prison warden himself shows up, and he comes strolling in with like a Cadillac, looking like he just stepping into the Met Gala with like this pimp cane, and he has his dorky looking, tantrum having, just goofy asshole child. That's obviously played by a grown man. The kid is like introduced like tripping on his own 2 feet, and then the warden he picks a random guy who you made him trip, and he like stabs him in the eye, and it's very knowing about what it is. It's very it's not so much tongue-in-cheek. It's just like, hey, it knows it's a big kung fu splatter fest, and boy does it deliver. It's very competent in its the insanity it's pulling, and boy does it deliver on the splatter. Like, man, like I would be doing an injustice to just say the things that happen. This really needs to be seen to be believed. Just the amount of carnage that goes into this movie. Like, I think it does rival, I think it comes close to rivaling Dead Alive as like maybe the goriest movie that I've ever seen in my life. And it's all practical. Like the like climax of this movie like culminates in this like absolute like fountains worth of blood just spraying everywhere. Like I think I heard a story where like the lead actor, it took him like 3 days of showering just to like get all the fake blood off of him, and I believe that because the results speak for themselves. And man, you gotta yeah, even if they like don't look good, but like you gotta really respect the commitment to like this like practical gore, because like fake blood, that's hard to get off. That's hard to like make look great, especially like when there's so much of it. But I think because there's so much of it, it just sort of works in its favor. It doesn't matter where it lands, just spray it. and yeah, there's like something of a plot. There's like something of a story, and like I guess like the innate over the top strength of Riki kind of does like, if you're not fully into like what the movie is about, like you just be like, wait, why didn't you do that sooner? Why didn't you just like kill all these guys earlier? But like what you're really here for this movie is to see the inspirational ways that the human body can get just utterly annihilated, blown to bits, dismemberment, liquefied. Just like Riki like punches the top of a guy's skull off in one hit. This movie is beautiful. That is why cinema was invented. And man, this needs to be seen by everybody, and really deserves to be in everybody's house too. It is currently, I think, only really streaming on Criterion Channel right now. But as far as like video releases, there's not a whole lot that is like anything that isn't like region locked. I think there was like a specific Blu-ray or specific DVD, but again, that might have just been region B. So like this really, I really hope that like maybe Arrow Video does like a big special Blu-ray for it, because man, this really needs to be in as many homes and is seen by as many people as possible, because this is one of those cult films that absolutely will change your life, and it's so much fun to watch, and it's hilarious, and I would kill to own this personally, and yeah, that's generally it. If you've seen Riki-Oh, please tell your friends to check it out. And yeah, if you want to see it, easiest way to do it is go to subscribe to the Criterion channel. You won't regret it. Riki-Oh is amazing, and hey, it's a Criterion channel. You get a lot of good stuff there too. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the review. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will hopefully be back with another one of these pretty soon. I'm not sure which one. I'm behind schedule on these. I still got a lot to get through, but hopefully it'll be a quick one. Maybe a little maybe something also fun and goofy like Riki-Oh, but I don't know. There's not many movies like Riki. So yeah, that's my review. I'm Zach. I like movies. I will be watching more movies, and I hope you do too. I'll see you then.